Welcome to Dose of Substance, the podcast for mature minds, self-aware, and bold spirits. Some of the comments may be too hot to handle, so if you can't take it all in at once, take it in doses. Or not bother listen to nothing. Sponsored by Mindsteeds Collections and the Substance Music Group.
Kaden Allen.
Literally.
Kaden Allen. That's where I'm at. Like,
I was like, I was freaking out.
Gosh.
Like my heart, my blood pressure, my heartbeat, everything was elevated. They were I forgot the term they called it. Maybe the nurses out there can figure out what it is. They said that I would have been a perfect candidate for something. I don't remember what they said, because my blood pressure was so high. I was losing so much blood, and there was a chance I had to do a hysterectomy right then and there. And I was like panicking. The lady was like rubbing my arm. She's like, I need you to calm down. It's not going to help your blood pressure situation. You need to calm down. Then I took a breath and I was like, you don't understand. I can hear what they're saying. How can you tell me? I can't even feel anything. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then my mind just went racing. And then I just found myself thinking about Kaden. I had to take a breath, and I was like, I started crying, and I was like, the girls are good. They have their dad. My mom's outside. My dad's on his way. I was like, if this is it, it is what it is. Really.
That's why it's dangerous. It's a dangerous place to be, but it's a very free place to be. Right? And that's where I'm at with life, Katie. I struggle with wanting to be with my daughter so much, but wanting her to live through me as well. I'm caught in between that. Not saying anyone have to worry about me like, yo, you might. No, that's not it. But emotionally,
to understand that it is a struggle, though. Like,
yeah,
it really is a struggle. Like, I'm not saying I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm thinking about taking my own life, but there are times where you feel like this is just too much. Like, life itself is too much, and then on top of that, you have to put that kind of pressure on you. Like, people don't understand, like, unless you've been in a situation, you have no idea how hard it is. And if you have your babies with you, and every time something, I always tell people, give your, like, on his birthday, his memorial, whenever I post them and people reach out, I'm like, kiss your baby extra hard for me today.
Right.
Like, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Take an extra picture today or something, because those pictures, they come in real handy.
Yeah.
They come in real handy. Those pictures, those videos, they come in real handy.
Oh yeah. I have my daughter iPhone. I have my daughter phone. I bought her an iPhone, I think the same year or so, whatever. And I went through her phone just to see how she decorated my name. And she pinned my chat on top of WhatsApp, like, just feeling her energy through her phone and reading back our messages.
Mm-hmm.
What saved me was the fact that she never doubted for a day
That you loved her.
That I loved her. She hear it like clockwork. And if we go 2-3 days without saying it, she will call me like, oh, that's how we doing it? That's how she is. So on my arm, like, there's a speech on my arm. It says, as long as you're good, I'm good. That's what we say to each other. She said, Daddy, are you good? Are you good? I said, as long as you're good, I'm good. And she's like, as long as you're good, I'm good. This is my daughter, my little baby, speaking to me like a best grown-up friend. So that's how I know my daughter is an angel. She came here to save me from the bullshit. Yeah, but I have accepted that I'm a change man, Katie. I have things I need to work on, but I've accepted that I'm a change man, and I've also accepted that a lot of persons that knew me back then, they don't know me now. They don't know me now, and it's fine. I've accepted it.
I've always been the quiet girl, you know. I still am the quiet girl. I have my little, outburst here and there. But I'm not closed off when it comes to him.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought I would have been more emotional, but that's growth for me.
Right.
Like, I can talk about Caden and smile now. Before,
well, you still have the times when it will hit, you know, out of nowhere. Yeah.
There are times when I tell you, you just mention his name.
Yeah.
And like, my mind just goes all over the place. But there are times when you mention his name and I just start smiling.
Smiling, right?
Because you don't have a choice but to smile, man. That kid was something else.
Have you ever? This is not a question that I had written down. Have you ever just laid in your bed and just utter the words, "I love you"?
Mm-hmm.
Just, "I love you, Caden." Just smile to yourself and say, "I love you, Caden."
Mm-hmm. I talk to myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking.
I do too. My daughter's picture is right there. And if this wasn't behind me, a big photo of me and her would be right here. So that's what I had to do. I had to surround myself with her pictures to say, hey, there she is, but that's really all you have.
This might sound weird to some people, again, but you can feel.
Of course. 100%.
You can feel it. You can feel
100%. I know when she's around me.
You can feel it.
I know when she's around me.
It's not to sound weird or crazy or nothing, but you know in your heart what that presence felt like. And when that familiar feeling hits you.
Right.
That's when, there have been times I'm laying in the room because my girl's a part of my trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep with one, their dad sleeps with one. Because he's just as traumatized. Since they were babies, we got two cribs for no reason, got them real cute with the bedding and everything, never used it. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't need cribs, don't buy it. But they never used it because he wants to make sure throughout the night baby A is good. And I want to make sure that throughout the night baby B is good.
Right.
So to this day, they're 3 years old, it's still the same way. And until they can tell me, wake up in the middle of the night and find me and say, "Mommy, I don't feel good," it's going to continue to be that way. But there have been times when I'm laying down, cuddled up with Amira, is her name. Mm-hmm. And she looks just like Caden. It's scary. It's scary. She looks just like, she has everything for Caden. And sometimes I'm there just snuggled up with her and I'm talking to her like I'm talking to him. Yeah. I promise you I'm not crazy. It's just when you feel that presence.
Right.
You just can't help it. You really just can't help it.
He will live on through her too, because he's a spirit. And spirit take the shape of anything that feels like home. Right? So we just have to accept that,
He looks so much like, she looks so much like him.
Yeah.
Me and my stepmom tried edibles. Do not recommend. I'll never do it again. But he has a picture where he has his diaper on, his hair was in a ponytail. And I kid you not, under the influence of edibles, the little girl is standing in the kitchen, back facing me, hair in a ponytail with a diaper on. And I stood there high as hell. And I just stared at her. Mm-hmm. She was just standing in the kitchen. I'm like staring at her. And started crying.
And that wasn't the edible.
It was the edible, but
no, it wasn't.
That's how bad she looks like the kid. Like,
that wasn't the edible. That was you being 100% vulnerable. That was a part of you where like you miss him so much. It's like you created that image. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll never try it again.
Blame it on the edibles. All right. So you asked the last question. So I guess it's my turn to ask you one. The conversations that we've been having kind of eliminate a few of them. Okay. Well. So this question said, how much of yourself do you think you've lost? Yeah. 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 These questions are not surface.
As the empathetic person that I used to be, 100%. I cannot think of anybody who, like I mentioned before, if I see you crying back then,
Yeah.
I would start crying and then ask questions like, why were you crying? And then if you tell me some bullshit story, I'm like, damn, I just wasted my tears.
Right.
But that's how emotional I was before. I was very emotional. You know, like those talent TV shows when people give their story and they come and they do a job. I would cry for stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would really sit there and sob and cry like, oh my God, that was so... Now somebody comes into my office. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. I have to break my lease. I am so sorry to hear that, but this is a lease break clause. Here you go.
Yeah.
A lot of things people would think I'm insensitive about that I should be sensitive about now.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, me and my cousin, we have our differences or whatever, but the other day we were in person for the first time in a long time. And she gave me a hug. And I was like, all right, Mama, see you later. It didn't dawn on me to think that she was reaching out, you know what I mean, to give me a hug. Because a lot of things now go over my head.
Right.
I've lost that part of me 100%. And again, I struggled with my daughters at least for the first year. That detachment, I lost that. But they're teaching me love again. They're teaching me empathy again. They're teaching me how to care again. So when it comes to that, 100% of me. Aside from that, I use work as a distraction. I'm always working. They need coverage, I'll do it. You need another property coverage, I'll do it. And then work, you meet so many different people, so many different stories. So then you start realizing, like, my problem is not the biggest problem in the world. So they always say, you know, it could be worse, or when you feel like you're down and out, there's someone worse than you. I've had those instances that have helped me to grow. So I feel like work kind of kept me sane throughout the process because I had those experiences. But I feel like without that, I'm not a party person, club person, or any other distractions to keep me going. But just those experiences, all in all, kind of helped me. Reading helped me a lot too. Those self-help books, they'll put stuff into perspective for you. But I feel like I caught myself before I let myself go.
Right. I think, okay. You just put something in perspective for me. You just did. Just so you know, that last sentence that you said, you caught yourself before you let yourself go. I think I did that, but I think I still need to do the other side, which is I need to let myself go. Caught myself, but I need to do the flip side, so everything could fall back right into place.
I did let myself go in the beginning, which is why I told you, like, I'm glad I experienced that, but you didn't get a chance to experience that yet. And I feel like something needs to happen to trigger that for you. Because once you get over that hum, it's like you just start elevating. You just start it's like there's no limit at this point. Because the worst happened, you know? The worst happened, and I'm glad it happened.
No worse than that.
In the beginning, exactly.
All right. Great. What you got for me?
What is something so personal that you've never shared it with anyone, but you kind of still want others to know? You've never shared it, you never thought to share it, but you would want somebody to know.
Damn. Wow. So, yeah, Katie, that question was a real question.
I mean, it was private matter for a reason, but
I love it. I love it. I actually love it.
you want somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt as if, and this, as I'm gonna steal your line, please don't think I'm crazy. I felt as if I am sent here, Katie. I feel as if this is definitely not my first life. I feel like I was sent here to mend a lot of broken hearts through, whether it be music, whether it be art, whether it be through lifestyle, whether it be through conversations. I felt as if that's my purpose. And the downside of that is a lot of these hearts that you try to mend, they may end up breaking yours. But then that's where you have to realize that you're connected to a higher source. So your mending process is not as tedious as theirs. And I also think that I lost my child because I broke a lot of family curses. Yeah. That's something that I've never really said.
I can resonate with the last part.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that hit was supposed to end me. I think that was supposed to be the end of me. Not so much from anyone, but it's more like we're fighting principalities out here. We're fighting spirits out here. Let's just be clear. It's not a physical fight. Now I know I'm called upon to do a lot. So to whom much is given, much is expected. So as much as it was hard and still hard and will always be hard to accept that I no longer have my lifeline, my daughter is my lifeline. It revealed so much to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it revealed how selfish people can be. Like how manipulative people can. I have people that I do not speak to anymore because they try to use that situation for their benefit. They use my daughter's demise and their benefit. And I refuse to call any names. But situations where people raised funds in my daughter's name without my knowledge. Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry.
And I'm talking about blood. I'm talking about blood, not a friend. Yeah. Yeah. People out here, man. People. And then during this whole time, I realized who also kicked me when I was down. I had a lot of kicks when I was down. Okay, I don't know how I survived that phase. I had a lot of kicks when I was down. A lot of revelations, harsh revelations. Harsh.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's funny because, I've accepted, this reality, and I remember at her service, I stood over her and I said to her, I said, baby, I know you can't give me everything I ask for. I just ask you to show me what you know daddy needs to see. Just show me. I didn't tell her how to show me. I just asked her to show me. So you see all of the revelations that I got?
Mm-hmm.
I asked for them. Who am I to say how they're revealed?
Or who it is.
Or who it is. So a lot of things are revealed. And I also... Katie, there's so much. I might have to do a follow-up for this. And I've also realized that people will use you at your most vulnerable stage. I was used, And as a man, I can tell you this. I was used. Yeah. Because let me tell you, just seeing how my daughter's relationship and I, like the relationship that we both shared, it was one of the like people would see it when I know when at all and just love it. Like you'd have to hear from people. I can't tell you because I was just doing it, right?
Yeah.
No, seeing that females that found me attractive would have said, like, "Whoa," subconscious say, "Yo, I want that too." Then try to play games at such a time. But I'm happy that the universe always reveal what it needs to in perfect timing, you know. But I don't have any hatred in my heart for no one. I just give thanks because that just means that if you're playing games with someone at that time, you need to work on yourself.
Work on yourself, yeah.
Right. You need to get rid of those demons activated in you. That's it. Yeah.
I was on the opposite end of that spectrum. I closed off and I shut down. And I just didn't care to entertain.
Yeah.
I just wanted to heal. So the first year, like I did the Christmas thing.
Mm-hmm.
I only did it that first year. The second year it was a little bit more private. But that first year I kind of put on Facebook for people if they know a deserving family or whatever. Yeah. And I ended up ordering a bunch of stuff for some lady out in, I still have her picture, Missouri or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to keep that going. The year following, I did like a book drive where I got like my job. I put like a box for people to put like books for ages 3 to 5. And then I had like something at my dad's restaurant where kids in the neighborhood could just come and pick whatever book they wanted. So I was trying to stay active in that sense. I wasn't out in the dating world. I wasn't letting people in. If you didn't know my story, I didn't care to tell you. So for me, it was who I already had close. It pulled them closer. That's how me and Basilia actually became really, really tight. Yeah. Shout out to her because in high school we were friends, but we had.
Right. I really know all about it. We know all about it.
But we were still cool, and honestly, like I never really spoke to her. We never had an argument, bad blood, nothing. But I never spoke to her, communicated with her. And when Kaden passed away and she reached out to me, I was shocked that she even visited the U.S. to come to his funeral and be there for me. I did not expect that. Yeah, did not.
You know, she was. You know, she was there by my side, right through, right?
Yep.
She was there,
100%.
like right through. She did not leave me an inch.
Mm-hmm.
No, let me share.
From her, but it happened, and here we are, sharing babies later.
Yeah,
love you so much, TikTok lady.
Yeah, man.
But it pulled people closer to me actually, and maybe that's what I needed because I've always been such, like, you see me. Yeah. I was always mysterious to people. Yeah. You see me, but you never really got to know me.
Yeah,
you got to know what I would show you.
Right.
And I feel like it brought people in that I never expected to even exchange words with.
He also brought you out.
It did.
Yeah.
It really did.
I want to share this with you. So when I went to Jamaica, when I landed and my friends came for me, like Pizzle, Chulas, all of them, you know, my day one friends, my brother Randy as well, they came for me. I felt it, how ginger they were, like, yo, don't say certain things, don't. I was high and I was drunk every night. Every single night. Every night, man. You don't see me without a ganja spliff in my mouth. You don't see me without a rum cup buckle. Something I wanted to just be out of it. You know? But then I realized, like, this is not really helping. Like, I was drunk and I was still so conscious. Like, I'm still feeling everything. Right there is just heavy. So that happened. So I reached home like 1:30 in the morning, which was like Friday morning, 1:30 a.m., like early. And as soon as I reached to the house, my daughter stayed. Her mother, I could have stayed at the gate and looked through the back and see her mother under her shed. And she realized that I came and she got up and she just walked away. She couldn't look at me. So Raymary's grandmother, which is Sheena's mother, came out to me and just grabbed me. And I bust open, man. Open. Took me 2 years before I visited my daughter's room. Took me 2 years. I couldn't go in the house. Couldn't go in the room. Because every single time I go there, I surprise my daughter. Every time I go home to Jamaica, she does not have a clue. And I would just show up at her school, show up at her home. And that's just the love that we share, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, when I will be perfectly fine, Katie. I will be perfectly fine. And once I go into the yard, I break down. Because I can't feel that hug again. Because we shared hugs. One thing with me and my daughter, we are going to hug and we are going to kiss. We are going to hug and kiss every chance we get. Mwah. Anywhere, we don't care about nobody. No. Making reference to the morning when I landed in Jamaica, and then I had to go visit where my daughter's body was laying. And I went there, you know. I went there and they opened up the place and see my daughter lay down. And then take off a sheet and look on her. I'm gonna hold my daughter and rub my daughter's head. And I couldn't cry. Hold her hair, feel her hair, touch her eyes. My daughter's eyes could not close until I went there. Her mother tried closing and then open back up. And I went there and I closed them and they stayed closed. So I there and touch her hand, her foot. I'm sitting there and I really look on her and I say, what is this? Like, maybe if somebody just shout out, cut! You know, go down, clap and everybody get up and move. But no director couldn't shout cut. I'm there and I look. I say, Mary, what is this? I talk to her and I say, baby, what is this? What is this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this, Katie? So don't I'm look at my daughter and I couldn't cry. So I asked her mother, I say, anyone don't have any scissors or anything? And they found the scissors. I asked her mother, I said, look, and I say, you think she would be upset if I cut her hair? And her mother say, it's you. She would not give a damn. It's you. So I cut piece of her hair. I wear my daughter's hair in my locks right now. When I cut my daughter's hair, I come out. And I walked outside. I just felt. Francois was there. Francois Simpson. He started crying. Because I walked. I don't know, I don't feel my foot. I don't feel nothing. I was just looking up in the air. And all I can remember is me just saying, oh. That is all I was saying. And I fainted. Boop. Dropped on the ground. Phone mashed up everything. That's when it hit me that my life will never be the same. Never be the same. And I have a photo, thanks to Francois. I have a photo of that moment when I was looking at her on the bed. So sometimes I'm going through my gallery and I see it, I skip past it fast. But I'm not deleting it. Mm-hmm. Because then there's a time when I actually look for it. Just to remind me how real life is. Mm-hmm. So now going forward, I don't plan certain things. Because I planned for my child, yo. I planned for her. And a little bit, I go to America and smile like it's nothing. Right. Just long as she's alright. And I will say, shout out to our mother. Our mother is a strong woman. Like, strong woman. And everybody was like, hey, you go back a foreign carrier with you. I couldn't be around her.
Mm-mm.
I couldn't be around her. She reminded me so much of my daughter. It's like I almost hate her. I almost hate her mother. Like everything we should do just make me tick. But I never wanted that for her because I know that she wants that healing. But then it feels like I had to be everyone else's shoulder. Who's gonna be my shoulder?
My shoulder.
That's what I had to deal with. You know, so it was just it's a tricky situation, man. Tricky situation.
Leaving the hospital because when I had him on the floor and I was trying to do CPR, I was never a praying person.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And when it was happening, his dad was in the living room and he was shouting, "Pray, Katie, pray, Katie, pray." And I did not know what to pray for.
Right.
All I remember saying was, even if I end up with a child who's handicapped, just give him back.
Yeah.
I got my hopes up because when the ambulance came and the EMT people connected him to all types of stuff and they punched something in his knee, I think that was supposed to get like your deepest pulse or something like that. All I kept thinking was like, dang, that's gonna be a sore that I'm not gonna be, because I'm a squeamish person. And in that moment, I'm thinking, because when they connected him and they were doing you saw the little
the lines,
up on the screen. So I was like, okay, they're doing something. So that's when I started praying more. And I was like, if you got to give me a handicapped child, I'll take it. Just make sure the heartbeat keeps going. And then they did the punch thing, and I was like squeamish about it because the needle was like this big that they punched in his knee. And I was like, that's fine, I'll take care of that too. Just keep it going. But I didn't realize that it was just doing that because they were doing this to his chest. And they were putting air in his body, but it wasn't his.
It wasn't it, right?
So I got my hopes up then. And then in the ambulance, I was in the ambulance with them, went to the emergency room with them. And they wouldn't let us in the room, but they allowed me to stand by the door. And I'm watching them do what they needed to do. I'm watching them do checks. I'm watching them do everything. Can't remember exactly what was happening. But when I heard the doctor, she just stood there and she was watching them do everything and nothing was happening. And she was like, give it a couple more. If not, we have to call it. I fell on the floor and I said, please don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop. And then she was like, we have to call it. And I was like, please don't call it. Just keep trying. Just don't stop. And when she called it, like, I don't know what came over me. When she called it and she said 7:01 a.m. September 1st. And I sat there, and to me, he was still there. He was still with us. He was still there. I just needed them to keep trying. And then when he laid there, because they were doing so much to his chest, his nose started bleeding. And then they put the gauze, I think, across his nose, taped it down to him. I'm like, I almost told the nurse, don't do that. He won't be able to breathe. I almost told her because they had to cover it.
Yeah.
And then they left us there with him. And I literally sat there. And I wasn't wailing, kind of crying. I just sat there and I was just crying, like tears. And I'm just looking at him. I couldn't touch him. I was scared to hug him because I was scared that was going to be my last goodbye. I didn't want to have that moment. That's not how I wanted to remember my last time physically being with him until his service. I just sat there and I just looked at him and I watched his dad do everything that he could do while we were given the chance. And the same thing with the hair. They asked me if I wanted, because his hair was braided back. So I said, yeah, of course. So I took his hair, the footprint, the handprint, we got that. And I just sat there for as long as they allowed me to. I just sat there and I just looked at him. And he just looked so peaceful. He just looked so peaceful to the point where when he went to the funeral home, I was like, I want to be the one to comb his hair, to braid it, to whatever. I want to be the one to comb it. But they wouldn't let me because they knew, you know, with the autopsy and everything, the condition that he would have been in, so they wouldn't allow me to do it. But then when they had the viewing at the funeral service, I went to that. It was just me and his dad. And that was another moment of, this is real life. And it goes back to, like, you know, people asking, how do you cope? People asking what happened. People asking or telling you how strong you are. Like, for me, that was real life. Like, this is my life right now. Like, why did I have to be the one with a child who passed away and had to deal with this trauma? Like, why me?
Right.
I've done nothing special to deserve this, good or bad. Why me? I'm not the strongest person in the world. Why me? I don't think I did anyone that much wrong. Why me? And if I did, and I truly deserve that, now I wish it on no one.
Right.
So a part of me, and again, it comes with growth. I'm glad the way it happened, because I was able to share that moment with him. It wasn't like it was a freak accident at school and I wasn't there. It wasn't like a freak accident on the road. I wouldn't even be able to touch him or recognize him.
Yeah.
So a part of me is glad the way it happened. I'm never glad that it did happen. It's just the way it happened. So I don't know. It's just a dark cloud that we're always gonna have over our heads. And you know, when people trigger that, when people ask questions, like I said, it's not saying don't ask. It's just a reminder that this is my life. This is my real life.
Right.
So just be careful of the things you ask when you do ask.
It's a conversation for some.
It's a conversation for some.
But for us, it's reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for people who are suffering the same, I mean, I got 2 years. How many years you got?
Almost 12.
12 years. You have some people who give stillbirth. I had a friend who had stillbirth, didn't know her child had passed away before she was overdue. You have people who got 16 years. You got people who got 1 year. When I go to his gravesite and I look at the timeline, where he's at least, he's the oldest one.
Well,
so everybody goes through it differently, and everybody processes it differently. And to some, a question like, how do you cope might not be a big deal, but to others, like, you have to be careful, you know, you just have to be.
It's a very heavy question.
Because they think,
what did you do to cope? It's not what are you doing now to still cope, because they think you've gotten over. So now you could talk. There's no getting over. There's getting through daily.
And certain conversations, they get easier to have, which is fair. But
it doesn't get easier to carry.
No, not at all.
Because I promise you, like, me and you go coming on this right now. I expected for us to be real and true and everything, but I told, like, as soon as I hit record, my heart was pumping. My heart was pumping. And I don't get nervous so easily, especially these days. You know, like, I've been through my worst. You know, I've been through my worst, and
the worst part is over.
Yeah.
The worst part is over. I think, personally speaking, like I said, now I can talk with a smile on my face, because that's how far I've had to work internally to come. I didn't do therapy. I have never had a conversation with another parent who's lost a child. Never, ever.
Right.
I've never asked anyone, how do I do this? I've never, it's literally, and I like I said, I just don't know how I do it sometimes. So sometimes people do ask me and I really don't have an answer. Like, I really don't.
Because you're just doing it daily. There's not one set routine. There's not a method to it. It's just like getting up and choosing life every day.
Every day. And some distractions are good. Some distractions are terrible.
Yeah.
But You just
I've
have
had
to
some
figure
terrible
out
ones.
what works for you. What works for you. And the only advice I truly give to people is when it hits you, it's going to hit you.
Yeah.
It's going to hit you hard. Go through it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, go through it. Because that's your rock bottom. That's your lowest of lows.
Right. Right.
You just have to go through it and build up from there.
I want that. I think I got some hits, yes. And I know my daughter is not physically here. And I said yes to the denial question because it's just a part of me that I don't know if I can fully accept, you know, or want to fully accept. It's
And
like
you don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to.
That's
And you may not get that. The when it hits you thing that I'm talking about, it's unexpected. You don't know what it is going to be.
Right.
You don't know when it is going to happen. That shit is going to hit you. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it. But when I experienced it, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I have ways and means of figuring it out. I don't know how I do it sometimes. I don't know who's doing it for me.
Right.
But when it hit me, I don't know how to describe it.
So let me tell you,
it really hit me.
Her grandfather, not my father, 𝘰𝘪𝑚𝑎ry's grandfather, which is 𝘰𝑚𝑎ry's mom's father. Him love sound, him love music and all that. So he was in a sound equipment store in Maypen. So 2 men that works at the funeral home that my daughter's body was just talking. And they were like, yo, you saw what happened just now? Didn't know that 𝘰𝑚𝑎ry's grandfather was in the shop. And the brother was like, yeah. Like, she was laying there and other spirits came to visit her. They're telling me that they went inside to look at her and there were spirits standing around her. Like, pretty, beautiful people just standing around her. And how they knew it was 𝘰𝑚𝑎ry's grandfather, he started crying. And when they said, Pops, you good? I say, I'm my granddaughter and I talk about. And him say, you sure? I say, yeah. And he said, describe. The men started describing it was her. And then when I went, I've never seen her then from the day when I looked at her the Friday morning. I tell her, man, I don't want to see her again. I cannot. I couldn't. The next time I see my daughter was on the service. But then again, when her mother go in and look at her, I rushed to her and like, how is she? How is she looking? How? Like, tell me something. And she's like, she's beautiful. She's beautiful, Kenny. Like, she is. Like, you touch her. You know, I was just like, just give me something. I just don't want to have to do it. I just don't want to have to do it. I couldn't, Katie. I couldn't. But you see, the day, the service, one of my cousins came on. She walked with me. I'm gonna go over my daughter body and I say, really not gonna hug my daughter again? I hugged the casket. Squeezed it. Just one more hug more for her. Just one more hug and I couldn't get it. And I felt like ever since that day, I don't know if I could get that hug again. Like, I feel like that feeling that a hug brings, I feel like it left me yearning for it. Yeah. It left me yearning for that hug. No one has ever hugged me in this life that made me feel so safe. Because everything that everybody has known me for, my daughter knows me for. That king. She calls me king, you know. And she calls herself queen. She said, I'm a queen. I'm a black queen. That's how I channeled her to think.
Yeah.
She calls herself Queen Remy. My license plate on my car now is Remy. Like everything around me, I do things just like, you know, maybe someone on the outside looking in, we say, yo, I wonder if he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
You know your why you're doing it.
Exactly.
So when anyone else thinks, it is what it is.
I have no explanation.
Yeah, it is what it is. Crazy.
Do you have any other questions for me?
And I think
you answer them without me asking.
Right. That's what happened. You know what, Simelis, look
at this. Right?
And then just the conversations that we've had, we just kind of like knock certain things off the plate without even knowing. You know?
Do you want more children?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, because having the girls, like I said initially, I wasn't ready. And then that whole year of postpartum and not even with before I had kids, my cousins had babies. And when I went to the hospital and watched her had her son and like a couple visits here and there, I couldn't be around kids.
Yeah.
I couldn't be around kids.
Yeah.
And one of my other cousins, she had a daughter. I had to explain to her, I still need to explain to her why I wasn't as close to her and her daughter because I physically could not.
Right.
And even when my other cousin's son was older and, you know, we would go by the pool or whatever, I'm like watching him like my trauma would just, everything was triggering when it comes to kids. Everything is triggering. Yeah. So when I had the girls that first year, I really struggled. And thankfully their dad, it's a first time dad. And so he was just hands-on, daddy's girls. I'll take care of them. You need to go out and take a break. You can go out with your friends, have fun and come back. I'll stay with the girls. I'm like, you don't want to leave them with my family? No, go out. Yeah. I'll keep them. I'm like, all right, cool. But that helped a lot. But that first year taught me that I couldn't go through that baby phase again.
Right.
I can't go through. Everything is triggering.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at nights.
Yeah.
Because I would jump up out of my sleep to check to make sure the baby is breathing. Yeah. I would jump up out of my sleep.
Traumatized.
It was bad. It was really bad. So I don't want to experience that again. So kids for me, more kids, no. And I'm past 30, so that's it.
Listen. I say so.
You got the frame to get more kids, all right? I'm just saying. But I respect it though. I respect it. Because the one thing we have to do is to be honest with ourselves. You know, we have to know our limits and our limits should not be dictated by society. You know, society does not know us individually. We're just numbers to them. We know each other. We know ourselves at most. So, you know, I'm in this process of being more vulnerable when it comes down to like open up about how I'm truly feeling about certain things and whatnot. You know, so I'm there and I'm not there yet, but it's a process. You know, thankfully I have people that's patient enough to allow me to go through that phase without trying to direct my path. You try to direct my path, I will block you because you don't know my struggles, you know. But Katie, I'm definitely so appreciative of this right here. I think I needed this.
We both did.
Yes, I was just about to say. I think we needed this. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
For allowing me to get this out.
It's been a while since I've spoken on some of the things that I spoke on. It's been a while. I mean, the questions are usually how you deal and how do I cope? What suggestions do you have? It's never how you felt in that moment. Like some of the things we talked about. So it's been a while since I've spoke on it. But hopefully somebody will get something from this because we both needed it and somebody else needed it. So
definitely, because I have a friend that just lost his daughter a few weeks ago, 9 months or 10 months, and fellow artists as well. So it's one of those things where I know that them watching this, you know, because I reached out to him, I just say, hey, listen, I just want you to know I'm here, and it's all love, bro. Like I love you, bro. Like, I love you. You have my number. Do not hesitate to call me. You know, and if I see that he doesn't call me, I send him a voice note again. And I'm not going to say, yo, I'm just checking to see if you're good. What?
Yeah,
There's
no.
good.
Don't do that.
What? Don't do that. What kind of good?
Not good ever.
How we ever good again? There's no good after this. But you know, me just try to reach out, and a fellow friend of mine again, True Vice. He lost his son at 6 years old as well. Crazy situations. I told him today. He knows about this that we're doing, and I told him that the next one that I do, if we have to do it together, then so be. He's a great singer. Katie, I'm going to put you onto his music. Huh?
I'm not.
He's a great singer. And then I don't know if you know the song that I did called Soaring High. That was the last video I did with 𝘵𝑒𝑚𝑎rie in it. 𝘵𝑒𝑚𝑎rie is always in my music
I
videos.
remember, yeah, and that's why I go back and like watch some of your stuff too, because I'm like, dang, you know, like that
Yeah.
build up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's
She's
a
always
part of
in
your legacy. Yeah.
everything, you know. But yeah, definitely, Katie.
Okay.
No, I love this, you know. Should there be any other topic, trust me, I'm open to do this with you again. So we're definitely, what I want to do with this podcast is to really, you know, while I give humor, it's more like open minds and souls. Like, we're here, we're thinking people still exist. You know, that's really the aim of the podcast, you know. So again, I thank you for your time, your patience, your energy, your truth, your presence. And I thank you for being here, and I thank you for choosing life.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Yep, anytime. Also, you said you like reading. If you have not read The Power of No by Eckhart Tolle, get that book. I will text it to you.
Have been Osho. Let me write down Power of No. My favorites have been books by Osho. So he
Osho?
has this Osho. Yes, you can find his series on Amazon.
Okay.
There's one called Emotional Intelligence.
I know that book.
Yep.
I have it in my cart, Katie.
He has one named Being in Love, which was more of like a relationship side of things, but it kind of has some self-help notes.
Okay.
And then the 4 elements, and then the 5th element.
And that's not
I lied.
agreements.
The 4 agreements. I'm sorry.
Agreements, right?
Yeah, the 4 agreements, and then the 5th agreement.
I know that. I have that on my the audiobook thing. Audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those books were my go-tos during my moment of self-healing.
Right.
Because that's what
Right.
I call it. Because really and truly, I did not get
It's
professional
not good.
help from nobody.
Right. Neither did I. And I don't think I wanted to. I mean, maybe I don't know. But for now, I'm okay without it.
For me, I'm more of like conversations that I have with people normally
Yeah.
have a lot to do with mental health.
Okay.
Because, you know, one, you experience something traumatic. It might not be death. It might be something else. You experience something traumatic, and healing from that teaches you a lot about yourself and about other people that you wouldn't even think about.
Right.
And I feel like when people are going through, because when you go through some personal stuff, you hit real low, and you don't want to talk to people about stuff like that, you know? And like for me, like I said, I'm a closed off person, private person. Even my own family sometimes don't know when I'm dealing with something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it takes a conversation for me to be like, yo, this happened last month. They'd be like, huh?
Right.
I'm like, yeah.
Right.
So for me, I'm more of like a mental health.
Yeah.
But more on like a self-help type of thing. Because shout out to therapists, but I don't think it's my thing.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
You just have to do what works for you, and you have to figure out what that works like. What
does it look like? Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So conversations like that, I'm open to, but
yeah.
That's my
All
story.
right, Katie.
Life experiences.
Thank you for sharing it, and I thank you for allowing me to share mine as well. You know, I've never been this open, on this level. You know, and I think this conversation showed me that there are more things that possibly need to be spoken of. You know, but should there be another time where we have to just touch bases again, then hey, I'm open for it. Thank you again.
If you have my number, just let me know. You're the podcaster.
Definitely. I'll be looking at some properties soon, so I might have to talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Atlanta, you just feel like you're in a box, I feel like.
Okay. So it's just Atlanta or Florida. That's where I was. It's just I was thinking business wise because I want to grow my business. And it's 𝘴𝘶𝘪𝘢's company. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mindstays Collection is 𝘴𝘶𝘪𝘢's company.
Nice.
The plan was to start it and give it to her. Same year. Yep.
The only legacy I had with Caden was the giveaways, but that kind of fell through the cracks when I got pregnant.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to start a blog where I would write letters to Caden.
Do it.
Talk about whatever conversation I would write down.
You would have with him.
Side, I would post it on the blog.
So why not?
I never had the time to.
Make it, please.
I have notes.
If you could make time for this, you can make time for it. I would love that. I would personally, I would sit and read every single thing.
And you know what I would do too? If I had a dream about him, I used to keep a notebook next to my bed with a pen. And whenever I wake up from my dream, I would write it down so I don't forget it.
Do you have videos of Caden?
Mm-hmm. Lots. Too many.
No, I asked you because after I finish editing this, I would actually create a video with 𝘴𝘶𝘪𝘢 and Caden.
I'll send them to you.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want I guess you can, you're the creator, so I'll send you what I have and you can piece it together, because I was going to say, if you want a certain background or whatever, I got you.
No, give me anything. I would just send it via WeTransfer, so I get the full quality video. I would tell you exactly how to do it. Don't worry, it's very simple. Realize. I got you on that.
Right.
Yeah, man, I did the whole tech geek and the whole thing. Yeah, man. But KD, I'm not gonna keep you any longer. I thank you so much. Thank your partner for allowing you this space to actually open up and just say, yo, we're gonna talk about something really touchy. But you know the vibe. Bless you, bless your children, bless your family. Love you. Keep being you. All right.
All right, keep in touch.
Definitely.
All right.
All right, blessings.
A shining light indeed, knowing tomorrow will come and you're not here. Ain't no way to stop these tears from rolling down my face. Heaven, it seems you needed your child. But if it's just for one more time that I could see you smile, these days they're not the same. I'm reaching for you, but you're not there. I see you standing as the angels cry. Spread your wings and fly beyond the sky.
I see you standing as the angels cry. I see you spread your wings and fly beyond the sky. Life seems to freeze sometimes. I almost cease to smile. Trumpet sounds, we will meet again.
We will meet again. I see you standing as the angels cry.
That me talk about. What is?
Dose of substance. Let us hit you with a dose of substance.